with me in the studio now I have the people from the Cavan Kayakarun, and with me I have Ray McCall, Arlene O'Brien and Sinead Heary. Very fine, well, fit-looking people I have here. The Cavan Kayakarun. Ray, tell us about that.
Well, we're established now 4 years. This is our 4th year. We pretty much train and run all around the Cavan area, Mudgerbone area. Basically, the whole idea is it's an adventure race. It takes place now on the 10th of August. So
when you say kayakarun, for the sake of the viewers out there, you kayak and run.
Yeah, it starts off with a 5-kilometre run, and then we transition at a lake called Barnagrove Lake up in Mudgerbone. There, it's gorgeous scenic area around Cavan. Loads of lakes around here, so it's really nice. We transition there. We go in and we kayak for. Well, we've a couple of events going on. Actually, 3 this year. So, and it's the first year of our junior event. So I'll start with the main event. Is just a 5k run. Then it's a kilometre paddle around the lake, Barnagrove Lake, and then after that we transition again. We run out off the transition from the kayaks and we go on to the bicycles and we cycle for 16k.
It's a bit like a triathlon with a kayak.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's 100% you're right.
Let's go back to kayak. You know that kayaking around Cavan is a relatively new sport, Sinead. So when did that start in Cavan?
Well, for the event it started 4 years ago. We all get together every Wednesday, mainly Wednesday. Other people do go down to the lake and do their own wee bit of training, but we do have a fair crowd there every Wednesday. And
what's a kayak? Explain a kayak. I know it would be a fiberglass. Well, what would it be?
No,
explain a kayak.
It's more of a plastic kind of a boat. The main ones are one-person boats, but
that's distinct. Why is it distinct from a canoe?
From a canoe,
small.
It's an open boat.
And this is closed in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this year we're having double kayaks for the event, because it gets more people off in the same waves and everyone's kept together.
Okay.
And no one's really left out or that.
Okay.
I
Arlene,
think the kayak is more inclusive because a lot of people were put off triathlons because they couldn't swim, and whereas kind of kayaking is more for everybody, for beginners, and you don't necessarily even need to be able to swim.
I want to ask you, Arlene, about kayaking. What would be, to kayak? What you need to do. You want to you have an interest in the sport. Do you have to be a good swimmer? What do you need to be?
Well, on our club we have training on Wednesday nights on Barnagrove Lake, on the lake that the event takes place on. And there's the Cavan Canoe Centre come up on Wednesday evenings, and they're giving coaching for participants. So anyone who has signed up for the event can come and avail of lessons and a practice session. That has been ongoing for the last month or so and will be for the next couple of Wednesdays prior to the event. So that's a fantastic chance for anybody. And there's people come every year, sit in a kayak for the very, very first time with limited
Isn't that simple, Arlene?
Seriously. It is, yeah.
It's
very safe. They're sit on top kayaks, so they're very, very sturdy, and there's no chance of them toppling over or anything. They're very, very safe.
I just want to ask you as well, kayaks will be on smooth water, won't it, Lane?
Well,
it's not like a
in our event it is.
you're not going through
rapids or
rapids
white water. No, this is a lake event, so it's flat as a pancake,
so
unless
speed,
there's a bit of wind.
So speed is the thing.
Yeah, it really is. It's an adventure race at the end of the day. So we would have a massive range of participants, from really elite athletes, like they are fast, to somebody who's just doing this for the first time. And it's all the people. It's everybody. We want everybody to come. We want all you mad fanatics about sport and speed and times.
I'm glad you said that, Ray, because when I saw it I thought, oh, that'd be great, but I can't do it. I've never tried it. I was scared in case the damn thing turned around and it was upside down. And
well, the lake was well marshalled. There'd be like we'd have the sub-aqua crowd there.
So it's not dangerous sport.
Oh, absolutely not. Not as a beginner sport, but I mean, it's like everything that, when you want to push yourself on to the next level, it just...
And you can't trust water as well.
Well, this is it. And God, we've had a few instances last while on the water, so it's very important to point out that safety in numbers, never go out on your own, and as Arlene pointed out, it's...
Do you wear...
life jackets, yeah. But they're provided as well. Not helmets, no, not when it's in a lake.
Okay, so Dave is going to throw up some pictures of your run now, one of the runs. Yes, Dave? Okay, go ahead. Who wants to tell us what's going on there?
Well, this is one of our participants heading off out around the island, see the white buoy there in the distance.
This is probably one of the practice sessions on Wednesday nights.
So that's a kayak, that's a typical kayak.
Some people bring their own kayak, which is perfectly fine. And actually this year, for the first time, we have double sit-on-top kayaks. So it's like there's two people in the one kayak, so people can pair up with somebody they know, or just randomly whoever they turn up at the lake at, and they're very, very safe, especially for new people.
Again, you can see here, this is a sit on top that this guy's paddling, so it's really safe. I mean, if he does fall in, he's not caught. It just falls in, and then you just get back into it. Or there will, and here's a couple of our cyclists. Yeah, they're flat out there, as you can see.
As you say, it's great because somebody who's not good at swimming, like somebody who can't, he's not good. I know I can't swim because I broke my shoulder in a car accident, and the water is the thing that will put you off. Like you can run and cycle, okay, but can't do the.
Yeah, well, the canoeing or the kayaking is really easy, and it's great fun. And I mean, even maybe for someone with an injury like yourself, it's actually good for maybe strengthening up that or conditioning on that.
So if I were to buy a kayak, where would I go, or how would you?
You can get them like online pretty much, like I guess there's sites like Dundee and stuff like that. But if you were going to buy something brand new, it's on somewhere like
but if
the Great Outdoors.
So if I wanted to go down, say somebody wanted to go down to see would you like kayaking, you have kayak.
Oh, they're provided on the Wednesday nights at training. The kayaks are there, the life jackets are there. You just turn up 7 o'clock.
So tell me about your event on the 10th of August.
There's two options, so it's multi-sports. So as Ray said, it begins with the run, followed by the kayak and the cycle last. And there's two main events on the day. The regular event is a 5k run, a 1k kayak, and a 16-kilometre cycle.
Sounds easy, I know, but it's not. It's a bit of training.
It takes a bit of work now,
And what price?
Then there's an elite race then, so it's the same run, a 5-kilometre run, a 2-kilometre kayak, and a 50-kilometre cycle over the rolling Drumlin Hills of Cavan.
Lovely.
Tour
de France.
Yeah, that's
it pretty much is.
Bradley Wiggins.
Exactly. and this year for the first we're running a juvenile event, so Sinead will tell us a little bit about it.
I've got 3 different categories in the juvenile event, so it's 12 to 14 and 14 to 16 and 16 to 18. You're starting at the lake, it's a 600-metre kayak, and then you're going to run towards Gallinray, and then from Gallinray you'll pick up your bike and do your 16k route and come back to Gallinray, where everyone will be finishing up, and hopefully when they're coming back, see the juvenile starts at 12, so when they're coming back they'll be meeting some of the people going off in their first wave, and hopefully there'll be a great help to keep them going.
So entries on the day, or doing your entry online?
Online and on the night before from 7 to 9, and then on the day an hour before or an hour and a half before registration shuts then, so it's
but registration is open on Run Ireland.
And
the earlier
Arlene, give that to the camera there,
www.runIreland.com.
Get your entries in.
Entries in, because the earlier the entries are in, the earlier your wave that you will go out in on the day. So the early entries get in early waves.
Okay, so hopefully everybody has good fun and is safe, and that the people that have trained really hard do really well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they will. We have to get out and do a bit ourselves.
But it's a fun event, and it's about participation and fun. It's not for competition. It's more for fun and for two.
Okay.
Yes.
For everybody. So how do you see this going? Do you see this like you'd like to get it bigger and better every year?
Well, it's growing every year. So it's nearly last year we had over 400 participants. So it's massive. It's got massive. So get the entries going. Get in soon, because it is big. And as Arlene said, it's very important that you register early so that you can get out early. Because if you register late, then you're in a later group.
So, and just finally, last thing, kayaking is not an expensive sport to be involved in, is it?
Well, it's not really, no. And there's
relatively speaking.
Yeah, it's
just buy a good kayak in the end.
Pretty much,
and
paddle. And well, you need your safety gear. But as far as
do you pay insurance and everything, of course.
Well, not necessarily. Like no,
okay.
You know, it's at your own risk, really. You paddle at your own risk, and you take your own.
But to take part in this event or similar events, you don't need your own kayak, and
oh yeah, that's for sure.
You know, you just if you want to come to a couple of the training sessions. But would it be foolish
to turn up in the day for an event like that, having never kayaked before?
It probably wouldn't be
wise. But come along and see the fun, and see how it goes along.
I mean, there have been people to do it. It's funny, you see some really good because it's the three disciplines, and they're so different. Like you could have the best runners like tearing off on you, and then you get to the lake and they're going around the circle, and then you pass them out, and then they eventually get out onto the bikes, and then they'll pass you again. Like so it's such a buzz.
You could be bad at one and you could pull up on the other.
Exactly, yeah. Some like the first couple of times I done it, like the boys ran off. They were like, "Holy God, how am I ever going to catch them?" And then whenever I got up to the lake,
you got your own
I got my own back, so it was great.
Well done. I'd like to thank Ray McCall,
Arlene
O'Brien, and Sinead Thierry for coming in from Cavan Kayakarun, and the best of luck with your event. I hope you have the good weather.
So you'll find it on Facebook and on Twitter, Cavan Kayakarun.
So you can tell that to the camera, Arlene. Again.
You find us on Facebook and
follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so well done, folks. The best of luck with the event, and we'll see you next year as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks very much.